Hello and welcome to another episode of All Things Real Estate. And as always, I am your host, Kyle Seyboth with Century 21 Real Estate. And we are here, as always, with a special guest. And today, we are here with someone who is in the moving business. I have never had a mover on here. I'm super excited. Moving is interesting. You put things in boxes, you move it from one place to another. But there can be a lot of trials and tribulations with moving. And that's why my friend is here today. And with that, I would like to introduce, who are you, sir?
George Metz, owner of G Metz Moving. I am a fourth generation mover, been doing this my entire life. So very happy to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Always see it, and I figured you're missing a mover, and we're the people to be here. So
yes.
Thank you for having us.
You beat a lot of people to the punch. So we really haven't, as a brand, as a brokerage, we've started Century 21 Unlimited, so Century 21 Unlimited, which all the other brands are beneath. We definitely have a need for a moving company. So It would be great to partner with someone like yourself. So real quick, I've got to ask this because I'm always kind of thinking about good and bad and indifferent. What is the funniest or worst thing you've ever seen as a mover? You've been doing it for a long time. You grew up in the business. What's the thing you're just like, oh man, I can't believe we just did that?
So, there's a lot of different ones. So when it comes to oddity items that we've moved sliced up, segmented up bodies for a local university.
Okay.
So that, again, very odd, right?
Very
you
strange.
don't get that on a regular residential move.
Yeah.
Definitely took specific gloves that had to handle everything we did, not literally just the right guys, the right equipment.
Yeah.
So that was for a local university, so that's definitely on the odd side, right? Seeing a sliced up, segmented body.
Yeah.
On the residential side, we've moved everything from extremely old antiques, extremely old artwork. And then when it comes to the funnier side, when you have sometimes a younger couple that like to joke, bedroom toys labeled on the box, and then you have to go in and ask, where do you want it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's always something new every day in our industry. As you know, every house, every 3-bedroom is different.
Right.
Every 2-bedroom is different. So for us, everybody, well, what's an average price? Well, what's an average price for a 3-bedroom home? They're all over the place.
It changes,
They're not all the same.
They're all different.
So it's very similar with us when it comes to moving. Everybody says, well, it's 3 bedrooms. It's all standard. Everything is different. So it's hard to tell somebody what a good average is for it. When you call and you get an estimate, we go over that, and then we ask for those oddity items. Whether it's an antique piano that's been out of tune, or a grandfather clock that's been passed down for generations after generations, and they're not working anymore, but they still want them. For me, being in this industry my entire life, most of the time I can open a clock, and most of the time it's a spring that isn't oiled anymore. Not that I'm a clock maker or do it, but it's something that you're just around, right? Mm-hmm. So again, oddity and weird things, we're used to it. We've moved sheds, wooden swing sets, pool tables, pianos. If it's in a house or a place of business, most likely we've had something to do with moving it. So,
million movers.
Yep.
Million real estate agents.
Yep. What
makes you different?
To me, I always think it's the 4th generation. One, I still wear work boots. Not that I have to, because I want to. It's a different for the people who work for me. They don't see me necessarily as the boss that sits behind a desk and barks orders, go get in this truck and go do this job. I'm on job sites. I'm meeting with customers. Last year we did over 2,000 moves.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's pretty big business.
We try.
I didn't realize you guys were doing that many moves. That's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, we're doing about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. About 2,000 moves last year that we did. Off of that, me personally, met about half to maybe somewhere in that half range of those people, of those customers. So again, it's not like you're calling a local company, getting a local answering service. You're getting employees that work here that care about what they're saying, that listen to the customer. And I mean, we called a mover in Florida because we had a person that we moved down a few years back. They called us wanting to do a local move in Florida. Well, we don't do that. We're not there yet.
Right.
So I reached out to a few local companies that I looked up in Florida. And I'll tell you, I called 4 different companies for these people, and there was only one person I wanted to do business with because of the conversation. And a lot of it goes down to, do you feel comfortable with the person that you're talking to on the other side of the phone? Most of the time, you're dealing with somebody who's an answering service, or somebody that's just answering the call, putting the person on hold,
right,
and then asking
the questions
to somebody else, where these people have been trained to answer those questions.
Right.
Instead of, let me call you back.
Right.
And that's kind of what I was getting when I was calling these other companies in Florida. And it was, oh, you know what, the operations manager isn't here. Let me find out. Oh, the owner stepped out. And then by the time I got to the third call, I kind of had a feeling that's what, I don't call other movers, right? That's not,
right.
I know what we do, and I know what we do well,
right.
And I know what we have to improve on.
Right.
But when I saw that and felt it and heard it from the customer side, that made me feel the difference.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize that, customers are calling us and they don't know the right questions to ask.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
They don't know what to prepare for. Where I knew it, and the person on the other line really thought, I think I was a local guy just trying to call to get rates. Right? Is what I thought he felt.
Right.
And then I talked to another owner, and he was awesome to talk with. He ended up getting the job. The customer down there called me back the month and a half later when they were done with their move, said that we'll always be their go-to, even though we didn't do their local move.
Right.
Just because of, again, just the conversation. Just like any business, if you don't feel comfortable with what you're doing or what you're seeing, stay away from it.
Right.
Just in general, right?
Right.
I always say moving in service industries in general, it's not like buying a TV.
Correct.
Where you can go to a big box store and look at all these different pictures on the wall and say, that's the one I want.
Right.
So a lot of it is gut instinct, right? No matter how good you are, how poor you could be, you could have some great reviews on the internet because it's very easy to do that.
Right.
And you could have some bad reviews on the internet because at the end of the day, it's very easy
to get those.
To get those. No matter what you do, you can bend over backwards and give a free move away.
Right.
And they still hate you.
Correct.
Right. So for us, it's the feel. You have to have the feel. When you're talking to the person on the phone, do they truly understand? Are they truly listening? Or are you just on that call and off that call as fast as possible? And that's one of the things for us. If you're not booking your move and you're on the phone call for 5-10 minutes and you didn't book your move, you should at least gotten 2 to 3 good ideas of what to ask the next person. When you call us.
So what would be, if I'm looking to move,
Yep.
what would be the right questions as a seller? I'm selling my house, I'm looking to move, I don't even know what to ask. Like,
Right.
what do I ask you? How long does it take? How many people do you need? Like, what do I ask? What are the common questions that someone should ask?
Common questions that somebody should ask are more of, is there travel time to and from your location to my location? Is there any fuel surcharges? Are there any additional charges other than most local movers, actually all local movers in Rhode Island, are mandatory to be hourly rates unless they're traveling over state lines. So if you're getting a guaranteed price, by law it's not legal. Mm-hmm. So worry about the one that say it's a guaranteed price, because if they're guaranteeing that your 3-bedroom house is going to only be $600, there's going to be a lot of other hidden charges, or you're not using a licensed mover. And if they're not licensed, they're not insured, or they're not insured properly.
So that's what I was going to ask too. So I can use you.
Yep.
I can use your company.
Yep.
Or I can pull 5 people from Kennedy Plaza and say,
Yep.
hey, let's go. We're going to get out there and start moving some stuff, right?
Yep.
What's the biggest risk I run?
Biggest risk
you say run, a licensed mover. So what does a licensed mover protect?
So licensed movers. So in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, there's the Division of Public Utilities, and they govern transportation and moving. So we have to have general liability, cargo insurance, workman's comp, inland marine insurance. So we have about 5 different insurances that we cover for our guys to go out. So guy slips and falls at your house, and they're not a licensed mover, they have all legal rights to sue you directly.
Guy slips and fall at your house.
Your house.
So you come over, you're not a licensed mover.
Yep.
You slip and fall, or you can sue me.
I could sue you. I could sue the homeowner. I could sue whoever I'm there to service, right? So you're the landlord. You're not even the tenant that we're moving.
Shoot.
You fall down those stairs in the front because one of the stairs has a
Was a
little bit
little
of a
uneven.
crown to it, and all of a sudden that person falls and they get hurt or injured or worse. They can go after the homeowner, not even the tenant.
And that could be a tenant moving out of think about that.
Yep.
There's a tenant moving out of a multifamily into a single or a multifamily. The landlord is the one that gets sued because the tenant didn't use a licensed mover.
Correct.
That's some crazy stuff.
Right. So that is a protection. A licensed mover, they come in, somebody trips and falls, it happens. There's workman's comp. There's insurance for that on our side. So the claim would never reach it to that point. You have wall damage. Again, you're carrying a second floor apartment to a third floor. In New England, really anywhere in New England, and you're in a tight hallway, there might be some wall nicks and dings. Insurance is going to cover that. For us, we send out a local repair guy to do it instead of insurance. No one wins out when you put insurance. Whether they're watching or not, they're not going to be happy, but no one wins when you put an insurance claim in. Because the insurer, our insurance goes up over a small claim. The customer is getting a portion of what it would be to fix it, not everything. Where we would rather send out the local painter, plasterer, repair guy, floor guy, touch it up, repair it, make the customer happy, and move on.
What's your goals? As a company, how many locations do you have? How many trucks do you have? How many employees?
Currently, we have 2 storage facilities, one in Providence, one in Pawtucket, one in Seekonk. We have a dispatch location in Seekonk as well. So currently we have 3 locations. Currently we're running about 8 vehicles, 25 people in the field on a daily basis. That is our average. That is our current
Average fleet, average amount of employees.
Average amount of employees. That's where we are now, and that's in the field. Then we have office staff. My goal is to get this location running, managing itself, so I can continue to grow. We did an acquisition a few years back from one of our competitors, and it was probably one of the best feelings to do it. And then it's the learning curve because it's never been done for me, right?
So you acquired a competitor.
So acquired a local competitor out of Cranston. It was OVO Moving and Storage. They were there 29 years, and we purchased them. It worked out. And since then, I've had the itch. I want to 100% buy more companies. Connecticut, Massachusetts, to expand a little bit, and then eventually get down the East Coast. Long-term goal, probably 10 locations across the country is the thought. And then after that, if franchising is in the thought process, touched on it here and there, but again, not something that we're zoning in on now. Right now, it's get this one exactly the way we want to be our cookie cutter portfolio, so we can pick it up, add it to a new location that's already running, and make it profitable. Moving is a very difficult beast to begin with, and then add in everything else that goes with it. But at the same point, to me, it's fun. It still hasn't lost its funness. Every day is different. Like you said, what's the oddest piece? Right now, we could be moving one of the oddest pieces, and I wouldn't know about it until later today, and the guys come back
and tell you what it is.
And tell me exactly what it is. And then there's days where I'm on it because I know exactly what's there
going
and
on.
what needs to be done.
So my takeaway quick, we've got a couple seconds here left. Number one, you've done a really nice job taking a successful business, making it more successful.
Yep.
Number two, I love the growth mindset that you have. You're looking at things and you're saying, hey, look, how can I make this better? How can we be bigger? How can we serve more people?
Right.
And number three, you lead by example.
Yeah.
That's what you talked about. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yep.
You said, what's the difference? The difference is you're wearing work boots.
Right.
The difference is I'm selling houses.
Right.
The difference is you can't tell your people to do something you're not doing.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
And that's how you can be a successful business person, and that's how you can continue to grow that successful business. So with that, I want to say thank you for coming out.
No, thank you for
gave
having
a
us.
ton of good knowledge. I think a lot of people can gain some real value here. I appreciate it. Really,
you.
really appreciate you coming out, and hopefully everybody has a great attention on this segment, and we will see you next week. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.